Hello all, welcome back to our channel. My name is Sumant, I'm a chartered accountant, and in this video I'll try to cover one fundamental stock which is looking good in terms of technicals, which is really corrected good enough in order to take any entry into that stock. And also we'll talk about a couple of fundamental aspects which I generally look before taking any position into any stock for that matter. So to reveal the name, you can see it on the screen. It's Ratnamani Metals and Tubes. And why we have picked this stock, we'll try to understand technicals as well as we'll try to understand fundamentals. Let's get started with the technical part. Right now, you could see I'm on monthly time frame. So here at the top, you could see the time frames. Right now, I'm on monthly time frame. I'm trying to draw a trend line connecting a lower highs of the stock. If you just see lower highs, so this is the first high which I could detect at this point, and this is the next lower high, and this would be another next lower high, either this or this, right? So these are detected as lower highs, and when these lower highs are connected by the trend line, and once the trend line is broken, that is where we can say the sentiment has been shifted. So far in this lower highs, the sentiment is bearish. Even you could see this is a lower low, I would say first low, and then this is where it's a lower low, and this is where it's a lower low. But on monthly time frame, you will not get the exact picture about lower highs, lower lows. But however, it's obviously, you should come from the monthly time frame so that you will get a more comfort on weekly or daily time frame. So this is the trend line which I will be using on the monthly time frame, and let me go down to weekly time frame. Now you can see it in more sensible way when I was talking about lower low. So this is the first low from this fall, right? And then stock retraced back and formed a lower high. Again the stock came down, forming a lower low, right? So this is the lower low, I would say. And then it tried moving up. Somehow there was a huge selling pressure, and again the stock came down and formed another lower low. So now the trend is set to be changed, because if you just see, after this lower low, the stock has formed a lower high, and this lower high has been crossed, right? So this is where we can say the trend has changed, and that's where I have picked this Ratnamani Metals and Tubes, because technically I could see there was a change of trend, and there are high chances that this stock can perform well going forward. And as I always say, stock market is all about a probable game. So when I say the stock can go up, you need to think in terms of probability, right? And risk management is something which we always wanted to focus on. That is the main instrument which can protect us and which can make us profitable. So with that, let me get down to the daily time frame. If we just see daily time frame, so to make it clear, let me erase everything, and I just wanted to keep only the trend line which we have drawn on monthly time frame, and let me get it down to daily time frame. Now I would like to adjust my trend line based on daily time frame. So you could see this is what the trend line I have drawn on the daily time frame, and also on another trend line which I can draw is this, because I just wanted to connect as many points as possible. And when I was talking about lower high, you could clearly see this lower high. So first high is this, sorry, first low is this, and then this is the higher low, right? And lower high, when I was talking about, don't get confused about this lower high, lower low, this kind of stuff. But if you just think logically, the stock has formed a low here, and then it is forming next low just above the previous low. In that case, it is said to be an uptrend. In order to explain it much better, when a stock is going in this way, right? It is in downtrend because this is the low, this is the low, and this is the high, this is the high. So when this is higher, when this is the first high, this is said to be a lower high, and the stock is said to be in downtrend. Here you could see it is forming a lower low. Again here it is forming a lower high. So this is a trend. In this case it is said to be a downtrend, and vice versa. In this case this is low, this is high, right? And this is higher low. That is the difference. You can see here it was lower low, but here it was higher low. Same comes with a high. This is an higher high. This is where you can say the stock is in uptrend, and that is what I'm trying to focus on. Current stock which we picked right now, right? So let me clear all this again. Now when I was saying higher low, this is the first low, and with this low a higher low has been formed here, so which means the stock is coming into the uptrend. Again when I say higher high, this would be the last high, and this candle has crossed this high. Now I'm expecting another higher high will be formed here, and as I said, like stock doesn't move this way, it will be obviously moving in a zigzag way most of the cases. So there are stocks which are moving in straight direction also, but so the general tendency is zigzag. So with this, let me talk about what are the targets which I am looking and what is my stop loss. Entry can be at this point wherever the candle has closed, 2605. Let's make it as 2600. And my first target, I'll be looking for at least 3000. I wanted to consider the round number, and my stop loss for that matter, it would be 2390, because that is where I could see a red candle and the consolidation has been happened and has crossed that particular zone. I would say like this would be my stop loss, and this would be my entry. Coming to the target, first target, I would say this would be my first target, and the next target obviously I would be looking till 3700. So you can keep this stock in the portfolio because it's a kind of fundamentally strong stock. So final target at this point in time, most probably as and when the price reaches there, we may perform the analysis, and we can understand if the breakout is coming. If the breakout is coming, of course we can take the fresh entries on breakouts also. So this is what in terms of technical. Let me now jump into the fundamental aspect of this particular stock. So the market cap of this stock is 18,265 crore, which is decent enough, and stock PE is 30 and industry PE is 21.1. I could say it's definitely a bit expensive, but still, why it worth, we will discuss going forward with other aspects. Our return on capital employed is performing really well, so 21.5%, and you could see all these ratios which are appearing on my screen. I don't want to confuse you with so much of content. Let me get down to other important aspects which I generally look before taking any entry into this stock. That is promoters holding. I could see the promoters holding is 59.77, which is decent enough, and you could see promoters are consistently holding the stock since 2023. And FIIs, you could see 11.11, and they have reduced 0.5%. However, that 0.5% has been compensated by DIIs. So basically, if you just see holding pattern, 60% is with promoters and 30% is with FIIs and DIIs. It's hardly 10% is there with the public. And this kind of shareholding pattern will give more confidence because mutual funds, DIIs, FIIs, so big players were there in this stock at this point in time. This is as of March 2026. So by that time we had enough correction, but still we could see FIIs and DIIs are holding this stock. and that's where it gives a positive impression for me that this stock look fundamentally good. And also one more other aspects which I would be watching generally in any stock, CAGR of that stock price. So how the stock price has given returns for the investors in the last 10 years. The stock has given 23% CAGR, which is more than decent enough. So how we generally see in the mutual fund CAGR, so similarly there will be CAGR in the stock as well. And here I could see for 10 years stock has given 23%, which is decent enough. I think these are the fundamental aspects which I just wanted to cover for this stock. And concluding that this stock can be held as a portfolio stock considering an upside move of somewhere around, let us just see what was the percentage and risk reward. I missed it here. Let me do it now. Okay, right now you could see the stock has a potential of 43% with a stop loss somewhere around 8 or 9%. Let's assume it as a 9%, which is very good in terms of risk reward ratio as well. Even if I just consider it till the first target, we are getting 1 is to 1.7, which is decent enough in terms of risk reward as well, right? So with that, I would like to conclude on this stock, and I hope we'll come up with some other fundamental stocks which are looking good in terms of technicals and in terms of fundamentals whenever I find them. So definitely I would like to make a video on them so that you guys can understand what is the reason behind taking entries, because simply if I just keep these entry levels into the group, it doesn't give any learning factor for you. You may take the position, you may not take the position. That's up to you, because again, like, just to give a disclaimer, so these are just my views and this is only for educational purpose. Please do consult your financial advisors before taking any positions into this stock. I just wanted to make you know why technically I have considered this stock, what makes me feel like this stock is at the right point to take the entry, and fundamentally what are the other aspects. So when I discuss all these with you, so that you get some clarity to take some decisions, whether you have to take entries or whether you don't want to take entries, you can take some decision out of the information what I'm trying to share here. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please do hit like button, and please do subscribe to our channel for more and more fundamental videos and also the other videos which we are trying to cover going forward. So we'll be waiting till next video. Till then, Jai Hind.